What's up? SoccerBeat powered by Engen. Yeah, man. We're digging into the grassroots conversation. Who is the next big talent? Who's the next big coach? What can we look forward to in the future? And it's all made at the Engen Knockout Challenge. Every single year, multiple cities, which is connecting the provinces. And we've got a man here who's walked this journey with Engen for a very long time. Has served at the national level. We were just having a conversation offline, and I was saying, should I be introducing him as the youngest ever senior national coach, or is that going to spark a debate? Can we talk? We can always talk about him as the former Amatita national coach. Of course, right now scouting with Engen at the Engen Knockout Challenge. Every single year, you see this man connected to the youth. Thabo Senong joining me to chat everything that's Engen Knockout 2025. He's seen the talents 2024, 2023. You've seen them come through the ranks. We always ask the people to subscribe, Thabo, and we say to them, subscribe. Why they must subscribe? It's because we get to know that they are here. We get to know who are serving. I get to say to you, Thabo, when you come on here, you are serving 50,000 subscribers. I want you to know that you are serving 50,000 subscribers, and we're trying to grow that number to 100K. And with that, we're gonna grow with these stars that we're gonna talk about today. So welcome, Thabo Senong, to talk Engen Knockout Challenge. Siyakwamukela mhlekazi.
Thanks a lot, Tata. Nice to meet, and of course, I'm happy to be here finally. And just a big hello to all the subscribers, listeners, viewers, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
We have to start at the high and say, the highlights of being at the Engen Knockout. When you say, when they call you and say, Thabo, we do it again this year. What is that thing that gets you excited? The highlight of being at the Engen?
Of course, I mean the biggest highlight whenever we get invited, which I'm very honored and humble. Whenever I'm part of this tournament as an ambassador, it's always who's the next young talent, who's the next promising coach, which football programs or academies are really progressing and doing much better. In different provinces, how are the league structures, differences between football in the Western Cape, in Gauteng, in KwaZulu-Natal, in the Eastern Cape. So there's a lot of highs that really stimulates one, and then I get really excited. And once again, thank you to Engen for giving me this opportunity, and also a big thank you to everyone involved in the tournament, event organizers, MSC Sports, the teams, the clubs, the academies, of course, the coaches and the players. It's been amazing. 2025 has so many beautiful stories to tell.
I'm looking for those stories exactly. I want us to start there. When you sit there, I see you smiling. Tell me about the ones that come immediately as you smile and you say, you know what, 2025 served us this year.
No, Tata Sivizuguti, it was a year of surprises, unpredictabilities, because of lots of surprises took place. If you look at what happened in KZN, you'd expect the elite academies like KZN Academy, Amazulu, maybe to win the tournament because of the resources in their disposal. But of course, then you find teams such as Abo Shooting Stars, teams from the communities, teams from the amateur structures, really making it difficult for the academies to grab that trophy. But then, of course, you also see consistency on dominance. On the ladies section, Devon ladies in KZN, they've shown dominance, consistency, and then well done to everyone involved. Of course, coming to Gauteng, University of Johannesburg, they are continuing to show dominance and consistency and commitment to the development of women's football. Cape Town City did well last year. They lost against Stellenbosch. I'm happy to see them winning this the trophy this time around because I believe they've got a nice program going on for them in Cape Town. So it's always nice to see the young talents from Cape Town City coming to play the Engen Champ of Champs in October. And then, of course, going to the Eastern Cape, Chippa United won it after some absence last year. So congratulations to them. And from the ladies section, it's City Lads. So it's just been very, very interesting, different kinds of football styles, different coaching applications, pressure on coaches, sometimes which is not good, to some extent pressure on the players, which is something that we'll discuss later in our discussion.
You know what, Coach Thabo, you didn't mention my girls, Cape Town Roses. You know,
Oh
I'm a
no!
Gugulethu boy. I'm a
Congrats to
Gugulethu
them.
boy.
Congrats to Cape Town Roses. Again, they are. They are consistent. They are dominating, and again, they are showing that they deserve to be part of Champ of Champs that will be played in Pretoria, October. And yeah, we're looking forward because now Engen has created a platform to allow us, everyone, football lovers, to see the best of the best playing against one another in this Champ of Champs that will take place in Pretoria.
You know, I want to mention, you know, standout players that came out of the Engen. You know, one is now at QPR, Coach Thabo. You know, Teboho Mokwe. I mean, like the least. You know, and you know, it gets us excited now to know, you know, maybe this year who's gonna be that next one now, that makes that step.
It's
Who have you
it's
seen?
it's about the impact. I mean, for the past 2 decades, this was the 23rd edition. So the tournament has been existing for quite some time now, and thanks to Engen for their consistency and commitment to making sure that wood football takes place in South Africa. And I mean, let me start with Brighton Mhlongo. Today, he's an ambassador like myself, but he also won goalkeeper of the tournament. That was around 2009, 2010. So it says a lot about the commitment and the history of this tournament. And with regard to their slogan, that is their moment to create a future Diski Champs. So the tournament has been consistent to create future Diski Champs. I can never stop mentioning the likes of Teboho Mokoena. Different generations to different generations. Rele Mofokeng played this tournament representing School of Excellence. Khumulu Mekekana, you know, the Amajita midfield maestro who's playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, actually played for this tournament 2 years in a row, representing TS Galaxy in the first year, representing Mamelodi Sundowns in the second year. And then, of course, now we see the likes of Mohau Nkota. He also played the tournament in 2021, representing Orlando Pirates. And I mean, the rest is history. You can see the boy now, he's raising flags, South African flags, in other parts of the world. So, absolutely. So we should absolutely. Talon Smith, the Amajita, solid defender, represented Stellenbosch, you know, playing this tournament in the Western Cape. And I mean, you look at the Cape Town City boys, you know, Shaquille April. So for me, this tournament, remember, you know, Mr. Mbebe, the challenge is when you develop talent, you scout it, you train it. But then if you don't give it competition, then the talent is not stimulated. So that's where now the tournament comes in. Engen allows provinces and regions to test one another, to compete, because competition offers something that you cannot get on daily training sessions, which is mental stimulation, physical stimulation, playing out of your comfort. So for me, it is the mental skills, the physical skills, the social skills that are developed within these players. Because when you want to produce top players for the country, we need players that are developed holistically. And with holistic development, you need programs. With programs, we're talking about tournaments. And now to have an engine that we know that is played in almost every province. And then there's also a national champ of champs that gets to test the provincial champions. What an amazing opportunity, and not only for players, my brother, for coaches as well. I see amazing. Mark Mayambela did well last year, even though they didn't win it. But, at youth level, we always look at the impact of the coach on the players, the performance of the team, the progression of the players into the senior side. So this is what we see. So we don't only want to talk about coaches that have picked up the trophy and won the tournament, but we talk about coaches that has used this engine tournament as a platform to build future Diski champions, to build future Diski legends, to build top players. The likes of Kwanele Kopo while he was at Supersport United. The likes of Arthur Zwane coached in this tournament while he was at Kaizer Chiefs development program. The likes of Ricardo Kaza. So it's just an amazing, and I must say, and I have to mention this, because Chippa won the tournament in Eastern Cape, and guess who's one of the technical members within the technical team? The assistant coach. Amazing. One of the long-serving players at Chippa United, Andile Mbenyane, and I was happy, and we had a chat. He was like to me, "Hey, coach, hey, this is my first time. I'm not sure if I can do this. Should I go and play?" I said, "No, my brother, this is the beginning of good things. You are going to multiply yourself, because we are going to see a lot of Andile Mbenianes, because Andile was very talented. How he perceives the game, his vision, his technical abilities. So can you imagine the impact that is going to make to a number of players at Chippa United, or maybe in scouting as well, the type of players that you will scout from around Eastern Cape that will come into the Chippa United program." So for me, it's always exciting when I see such coaches and such players. Then I become hopeful that South African youth football is in a good space.
As you mentioned that, I'm gonna stay in the coaches. We're gonna continue, but as you mentioned, Andy Mbenyane, maybe they didn't do it intentionally, ne? But if you think about it, he's been around as long as Chippa United has been around. Actually, if you think about it, if you really think about it, he's got the full story of what a player from Ekoloni, as we call it, like the coast, a player from the coast, whether it's from maybe KZN, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, what it takes to make it in the PSL. As you say that, that's running in my mind, saying this guy is now closer to the players. He's just retired. So the players know exactly what he's gone through. He can impart that knowledge immediately on the players, saying, "Hey guys, if you want to have an 11, 12-year career like I did, this is what it takes."
And it is actually the first qualities that I observed in him, because myself also as a coaching instructor and coach educator, I like observing the qualities of coaches and see what makes them really tick and what makes them really good. And the first thing that I identified in Andile was his ability and skills to observe. Traditionally, we believe that coaching, you must just stand there on the line and make noise and shout at the players. But the proper quality coaches are the ones that observe first. They take a lot of knowledge, information by observing. And then during halftime breaks, or even maybe water breaks to some extent, that's when they just chip in a little bit and facilitate and give the boys 1 or 2 points, maybe just for tactical adjustments or for tactical reinforcements. That's one thing I saw about him. I was like, wow, he talks less. That means he's going to allow players to be more independent, and players will be able to express themselves. But he's also a player that comes from great institutions. I mean, he's a former Ajax Cape Town player, at the youth academy, one of the best youth academy that we've ever had in this country. We still have it as Cape Town Spurs, but it's amazing. And I must say that the Chippa United young youth players are very fortunate to have abantu abafana nabo Andile Mbenyane within their side. They can learn so much from such players.
We are Thabo. You know how it is. You know where it is. the fans want to know. I mean, they support the big boys, the big three. They want to know who are the next ones coming out of their clubs. I mean, Chiefs was there, Sundowns were there, Pirates was there, who are the next players coming out of there? Also, even the coaches. I mean, you mentioned Coach Arthur, who are also the coaches, because they also want to know, hey, okay, so if Coach Nabi leaves, who's gonna be? You know what I mean? The fans are also planning, like a sporting director at home, they also imagine themselves as sporting directors planning for the club, the future of the club, because they're invested in there. What can you tell us? What can you tell the fans on what they can expect, from the popular clubs, of course, because they're very interested. They're always asking, oh, can this one make it? I mean, Aboko Tugu are now with the first team, for instance, and the transition is because the DDC players came in to the first team, and they did well. So he's getting involved. So every other fan now wants their club to also have a Tugu. You know, does Chiefs have a Tugu at the moment in there? Do they have a Rele also in there coming up? To Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates, do they have the next ones?
Yeah, again, let me start with the ladies section, especially the female coaches, because sesingena Women's Month in a few days, and as I mentioned and said before that, for me at youth development, we shouldn't only focus on coaches that are winning the tournament, but we always have to focus on the players that are in youth football for the right intentions to help us develop players. And, I saw Mamelodi Sundowns have integrated two female players who are still playing football, the likes of Thabo Biana. She does analysis sometimes. She's still a Mamelodi Sundowns footballer. But I saw her coaching, the Mamelodi Sundowns girls at Engen. And I was quite impressed. And she was working with Rhoda Mulaudzi. I was quite impressed that Sundowns are actually fast tracking the development of young coaches into their female football department. And that was very impressive to see. And yeah, I observed them closely, and just to see the impacts that they are making on the players, how they are able to balance teaching the young girls to play the game and also allowing the young girls to be free and try things them out, just acting as facilitators. Aaron Mukwena is doing an amazing work with Safa Academy. The girls were 14, 15, but how they were technically very comfortable with the ball, how they were able to keep possession, move the ball through the feds. I must say that SAFA has really done some great work to make sure that there's a talent development scheme program that is going on at the High Performance Center in Pretoria. I'm sure it's going to yield us rewards in the long run so that we can get top Banyana players that will be able to replace the likes of Abu Jenin Van Veek, Abu Nuku Matlo, who have given us a lot. Because you can see even in the previous WAFCON that we need to fast track integration of young talents, succession plan to bring more powerful players, So, and then you go to the men's section, the likes of Abu Panorama, amazing young coach in Coach Boy, Abu KZN, the likes of Abu Ace Bengu, they have started to coach now. So some of the players that used to play before are now coming into the coaching systems, So, and for me, that actually makes me happy that clubs are believing in young coaches. They must just continue to develop. And there's also a young girl that is part of University of Johannesburg, Adrian. She just got a scholarship to go play and study in the US. And for me, that's what the tournament is all about, creating platforms, opportunities for players to grow, for players to develop. Coach Delimbata, who won coach of the tournament in Gauteng, representing University of Johannesburg. one of the assets in South African football. I'm sure if she's not in the SAFA structures, I'm sure she could be someone who can play a massive role, because I saw how she's able to get the best out of the girls, how she's able to get the best out of the team. So, and then of course, even though the elite academies didn't win, the likes of Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Stellenbosch, Cape Town Spurs, those are academies that there's always high expectations on them. They still played good football, even though they didn't win the tournament. They still allowed players to compete and perform under pressure, players to develop out of their comfort, with the coaches like Abu David Matebula and Sidiso Litsulonyane guiding those lads. So in youth football, we shouldn't really be speaking about the word win, but we must always just talk about exposure, learn, get exposed, reflect. So a lot of players got exposed, a lot of players learned, a lot of coaches interacted. There was just a lot of knowledge sharing. I mean, myself as an ambassador, I was very excited to interact with a lot of coaches, of course, to learn from them, but also to share my insights, maybe my experiences as well, perspectives, to say, in relation to where the game is moving, in relation to secrets behind performance. So it's been a very, very successful tournament 2025, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to be part of the Champ of Champs in October.
I was just about to say, I'm going to hold you to the promise that you want to start the Champ of Champs WhatsApp group for coaches, because you can't keep up with the numbers that you're swapping. Every time you're at a tournament, you're saying, yeah, here, take my number. Hey, here's my number. Here's my number. There's no business cards most now. So I'm going to hold you to it. Thabo. A Champ of Champs WhatsApp group for coaches, to swap knowledge, because, of course, we don't always have the time, to attend these workshops. Also, time alone, also money and access is another big thing. So I'm going to hold you to that, and we're going to end it there and say we're going to hold you to the WhatsApp group for Champ of Champs, Thabo. Maybe put your right hand and say, I declare that I will start that WhatsApp.
We'll make sure. What I can promise, Engen will always make sure that they create a workshop that supports coaches, and that's what Engen are working on, to make sure that there's a workshop just allows coaches to get knowledge and allows coaches to share knowledge as well, because the tournament is just made to make sure that we get better as coaches, our players get better, youth football gets better in South Africa. That's the main objective of the Engen tournament. And of course, finally, to make sure that future Disky legends are created out of this Engen football tournaments that are running countrywide.
In October, we gather for the Champ of Champs. Coach Thabo expects a concentration of talents to gather there, because he's seen Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Gauteng, KZN, special mention, Panorama, UJ Ladies, Junior Stars, Durban Ladies, Cape Town City, Cape Town Roses, Chippa United City Lads. Those are the champions from each region so far. We'll meet at the Champ of Champs in October to determine who will be the ultimate champion. I don't want to put Coach Thabo to another task. His task now is to establish that WhatsApp group. We don't want to put too much on him. We thank you for your time. We look forward to another session, because for that Champ of Champs, we need to discuss the tactical sides of things, what we expect to see, what the players must do, how they must approach the game, what you guys are looking for as the scouts and ambassadors. We definitely need to discuss that closer to the time. We thank you for your time, Tata.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Let the beat do the talking.